Have you ever looked back at a relationship and thought, the signs were so clear?
Why did I ignore them?
The lies,
The mood swings.
the emotional distance, the disrespect.
You saw the red flags, but you painted them green.
In this video, I'm going to explain the real psychology behind why we ignore red flags in relationships, and more importantly, how to finally stop. So, what exactly are red flags? Let's be clear. Red flags are not simple mistakes or one-time slip-ups.
They are consistent patterns of behavior that serve as a warning sign.
These are things like inconsistent communication, where they're super attentive one day and then completely disappear the next.
Or maybe it's love bombing at the very beginning of the relationship, showering you with excessive attention and affection to get you hooked. Other major red flags include constantly avoiding serious conversations about the future, your feelings, or the relationship itself. Then there's gaslighting, where they make you question your own sanity and perception of reality. You might also notice them suddenly becoming emotionally distant without any explanation, or disguising disrespect as just a joke, making you feel bad for being too sensitive. But here is the thing that most people don't realize. We don't ignore red flags because we are blind or because we don't see them. We ignore them because of how our brain is wired. When we start to fall for someone, our brain floods with dopamine, that feel-good chemical.
It's the same chemical linked to addiction, and it can create a powerful emotional blindness. Your mind starts making excuses. You tell yourself,
He's not like this all the time, or she didn't really mean it that way. You might even cling to the hope that they'll change eventually. This isn't just wishful thinking. There's a psychological term for it: confirmation bias.
our brains are designed to seek out and favor information that confirms our existing beliefs and feelings.
So, if you're emotionally invested and you want the relationship to work, your brain will actively search for evidence that supports this desire.
It will highlight the good times and dismiss the bad. In essence, your brain is trying to protect its emotional investment.
You've put time, energy, and feelings into this person, and walking away feels like a loss.
In this state, hope, which usually feels like a positive force, becomes your biggest enemy.
It keeps you stuck, waiting for a change that may never come.
Another powerful reason we ignore red flags is something called trauma bonding, which is often rooted in our childhood patterns. If you grew up in an environment with emotional neglect, inconsistent love, or general toxicity, your nervous system might have learned to associate chaos with normalcy. If you experienced abandonment wounds, your brain might have wired itself to see pain as a component of love. This is the core of trauma bonding.
It's more than just loving someone. It's an addiction to the emotional roller coaster they put you on. The cycle of good times followed by bad times, of being pulled close and then pushed away, creates an incredibly strong, unhealthy attachment.
You become addicted to the highs, which feel so good after the lows. You are not just in love with the person, you're bonded to the pattern of pain and relief. It's a difficult cycle to recognize, let alone break, because it feels so familiar to your system.
So, why do these red flags sometimes feel exciting, healthy? Secure love tends to feel calm, stable, and peaceful. But for a mind that's been conditioned by chaos, calm can feel boring.
Red flags often introduce a level of emotional intensity that can be mistaken for passion. Think about it. The jealousy, the drama, the hot and cold behavior, the constant push and pull dynamic.
All of this creates a surge of emotions.
Your brain can misinterpret this chaos as a sign of a deep, passionate connection. You might think, wow, we feel things so intensely. This must be real love. That's why toxic relationships can often feel stronger or more profound than healthy ones. The constant emotional upheaval keeps you on your toes, always fighting for the relationship, which can create the illusion of a powerful bond. In reality, you're just caught in a storm, and your brain is confusing the turbulence of passion. Beyond the chemical reactions and past traumas, there's another, simpler reason we stay: the fear of loneliness.
For many people, the thought of being alone is far scarier than the reality of being in an unhappy or unhealthy relationship.
It's not that the person is actually good for them, but the familiarity of having someone, anyone, feels safer than the uncertainty of being on their own. In our modern dating culture, it's common for emotional support from a partner to replace the necessary work of self-healing.
We look to others to fill our voids instead of learning to fill them ourselves.
So, instead of walking away from disrespect, manipulation, or emotional neglect, people settle.
They choose the familiar pain over the feared loneliness, trapping themselves in a cycle of settling for less than they deserve. So, how do you finally break this cycle and stop ignoring the red flags? It starts with a conscious decision to change your patterns.
First and foremost, respect your discomfort. That gut feeling, that little voice in your head telling you something is off.
Listen to it. It's your intuition, and it's trying to protect you.
Don't try to explain it away or justify the other person's behavior. Next, stop romanticizing pain. The drama, the intensity, the fight to make it work, that's not romance. That's a struggle. Healthy love shouldn't feel like a constant battle.
It's also crucial to slow down your emotional attachment.
Don't dive headfirst into a new relationship. Take your time to get to know someone, observe their patterns, and see if their actions consistently match their words.
A practical tip is to write down the red flags. When you see one, literally write it down in a journal or a note on your phone.
This makes it tangible and much harder to ignore or forget later when they're being charming again.
Most importantly, commit to healing your inner wounds. Address a low self-worth, fear of abandonment, or any past trauma.
You can do this through therapy, self-help, or journaling. When you heal yourself, you're less likely to be attracted to people who mirror your past pain.
And finally, learn to walk away early, not late.
The longer you stay, the harder it is to leave. Remember this. The right person will bring you clarity, not confusion. The right relationship will feel like peace, not a puzzle you have to solve. In the end, it all comes down to this. Choose peace over chaos. If someone consistently makes you overthink, makes you doubt yourself, or makes you feel small, that's not love. That is a lesson. It's a lesson in what you don't want, a lesson in what you won't tolerate, and a lesson in your own strength. And today, you can choose to learn that lesson and move forward. You can choose better.
You deserve better.
Thank you for watching.